What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Fantasy Island update video. Today we'll be discussing Marshall Dan's latest update on what the status of the park is currently. This update comes from the Fantasy Island Memories page on Facebook, so make sure to go check that page out for all the latest and greatest updates on Fantasy Island news. Before we hop into this update, make sure to go check out our last update on Fantasy Island from late January, so you're able to understand anything that I say in this video pertaining to the reopening of the park that I mentioned in the last video. Today we got some pretty interesting news that I'm pretty happy to share with you, as most of it is positive. But before we hop into the video, make sure to like this video, as that is the best way to help out the channel and get this video out to as many people as possible. The more people who hear this information, the better off Fantasy Island is. So make sure to share the Facebook page and this video so people can get educated on what is going on with the park right now. The Facebook page will be linked in the description for all of you guys to view, and you'll be able to view the actual update that was posted by Marshall Dan himself. Also, if you're new here, can you please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button down below to stay updated on all the latest and greatest Fantasy Island and Western New York news. Now let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into the update. The first thing that Dan talks about in his little video is what his role with the project will be. He talks about the group of people that he mentioned in the last update that were called creatives, who are the ones working to try and reopen the park. He explains that he has no desire to be a co-owner or owner of Fantasy Island or something like that. He basically says he is a consultant to this group, and he says he is a sounding board to this group as well through the Fantasy Island Memories Facebook page. He then briefly mentions the park's new logo under this group. Here it is on screen right now for anyone who's interested in seeing it. But then he actually talks about the new group that these people are forming, and it will be called Fantasy Fun Parks LLC. Under this LLC, the group will be attempting to open the park. The other good news that he mentions is that due to the work of this group and people sharing the word, there are some potential investors interested in the property. He also says it looks like they're not far off from possibly securing some deals. This group has also been in contact with the park's current owners, and they're aware of what they are trying to do with the park. The owners of the park are said to be very happy with the direction the group is taking, and that is a very good thing. He then talks about the 5-step plan that the park needs to take to be ready for a reopening. First, they need to secure the investors, obviously. If they want the property, they'll have to have the money to be able to get the property. Secondly, they'll have to obtain the lease for the park, which he says will happen right after they secure the investors. So at this point, it is basically dependent on whether they get the investors or not to be able to reopen the park. The third step to reopen the park is improving the security that the park doesn't really have right now. Break-ins, vandalism, and all sorts of other issues have been very, very common ever since the park shut down. You can probably find a billion YouTube videos about people breaking into the park illegally and causing damage. The plan is to put fencing around the entire property, acquire video cameras, and on-site personnel to deal with any possible break-ins. This is another possible issue that you could help solve by reporting any issues like this to the local police. If you know anybody who has been involved with damaging the property, breaking in, vandalism, or anything like that. The next step would be to clean up the park, and obviously the park has been a big mess ever since Apex has left it, so they're going to need a lot of help with this, so make sure to stay tuned for details about that. The next step would be to bring in the rides. Dan says there are many people just waiting to bring in the rides, which is a really good thing to hear, so that's definitely something that's really exciting. And obviously with both of those comes the repairs. Silver Comet, the train, the water park, and the buildings are all in need of lots of repairs, so that's obviously a step that this group will have to take if they are to reopen the park. Toward the end of the update, Dan reiterated the park's goal and the audience that they will be catering to, and how the park is not built to compete with Darien Lake. and how other groups like Apex tried to do this and failed. That was the bulk of the most recent update we got from this page, but there's a couple other things I've seen on the page that I'd like to cover. On April 2nd, we received an update from Jay Wilcox stating that the park needs about $2 million to get the ball rolling. But there's unfortunately been a lot of silence from the business community and the local and state governments. So once again, make sure to keep sharing this story. One more cool little tidbit I wanted to share with you guys is that the future Tilt-A-Whirl concept was actually posted on the Facebook page, and I think it looks really cool. The Tilt-A-Whirl is to be Buffalo themed, and it just looks really cool and fits the Western New York theme. Here's an actual 3D rendering of one of the vehicles. That post also mentions the plan is to put this park back on the map in Western New York over 5 years to grow it to be a wonderful family park again. They also mentioned that the water park is in those plans. That is pretty much all the news I have for today, but this is really good news. Pretty much everything we heard today was a positive piece of information and will help us in the future. I'm very excited to see what this group is able to do with the park if they're able to acquire it for a potential 2022 summertime opening. So like I said earlier, make sure to keep sharing all the information that we've been getting so we can get as many people involved in this as possible. But things do appear to be looking up. Make sure to post any thoughts about this reopening concept down in the comments below. And make sure to tell me if you are excited for the future of Fantasy Island. Now I'm actually going to put Marshall Dan's video in this portion of the video for those of you guys who don't have Facebook or you can't access it for whatever reason. But anyways guys, keep supporting the group as they attempt to reopen the park. Make sure to hope for the best. And with all that being said guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching and I'll see you all in the next video.
Hello folks, Marshall Dan here. Sorry it took so long to get this update to you guys, but things have been really busy on this end. So this is going to be a very short video just to update you on some of the new developments, which are very good, and to reiterate some of the things we touched on in the past in case anybody missed them. The first thing I want to touch on is something that some people have been wondering about and asking me about, so I thought I would just set the record straight to let you guys know what my personal involvement is with this project. I spent 30 years in the business. That is enough. I have no desire whatsoever to be any type of an owner or co-owner. What I am is two things. I am a consultant to this group and also a sounding board, basically through this page. This group is a very small group of dedicated people that want to see what we all want for the park. Last month, they released their park logo. Here it is. It is a beautiful combination of new and old, and now a little bit of new news. This group of people has formed a LLC, Fantasy Fun Parks. Here is the logo for that. So under the umbrella of this LLC, this group is going to attempt to get the park open, and I am all in favor of that. Some more good news. Because of the very good work that this group is doing, and because of all of you for sharing the stuff on this page, there have been several interested investors coming forth, and it looks like they're not far off from possibly securing some deals. The owners of this LLC have been in contact with the current owners of the park, and the current owners of the park are aware of the plan to get the park opened by these guys, and the owners of the park are very happy in the direction that they're going. As for the plan for the park, here it is again. Secure the investors. Obtain the lease, which will happen immediately after the investors are secured. Number 3, security. Fences around the entire park, video cameras, and on-property security personnel to stop what is happening right now. Number 4, cleanup, which we're going to need all the help we can get from you guys. Thank you so much for offering. The amount of love and support and emails and messages we've got from you guys reaching out. And trust me, when the time comes, we're going to let you know because there's a lot of work to be done. Next, bring in the rides. They have people waiting in the sidelines, just waiting for the go-ahead, and they're willing to bring them in. Next, make repairs. The Comet, the train, the buildings, the water park, hopefully for a summer 2022 opening. Now, one thing that I do like about what this group is doing, which other groups have not done, they're not going to turn the park into something it never was. Apex tried to do that. Didn't work out too well. Meaning, going back to the platform that it always worked on previously, from 1961 all the way through the Martin years. Free parking, bringing in your own food, the ability to come in and be a fantasy land for young kids, not in competition with Darien Lake. Apex tried to do that. They failed. You can't. Darien Lake is one thing. Fantasy Island is not what that is. Fantasy Island has always been a place for young families to bring young kids in and just have a great time. That's what it always was, and I believe that's what it's going to be again. It has to be that. It can't be anything else. So, a lot of good news here, and anytime there are updates, I'll do my best to bring them to you. These people are working at it. They're working on my behalf, on your behalf, on Fantasy Island's behalf. So keep your positive thoughts, and until next time, take care.